Surrounded by Roman legions, Spartacus quickly devised a plan. He had his rebels coat the hill's paths with olive oil overnight. At dawn, the heavily armored Romans began their climb, but they slipped, creating a comical scene of tumbling legionaries, much to the rebels' amusement. The Roman general shouted up to Spartacus, "What sorcery is this, rebel? Have you called upon the gods to grease the earth?" Grinning broadly, Spartacus called back, "We're just making sure you can slide back to Rome as quickly as you came, General. Consider it a courtesy from your slippery foes." Seething but somewhat amused, the general had to concede, "Spartacus, your slippery tactics have won today, but let me give you a piece of friendly advice. Olive oil is for salads, not for battlefields. Save some for dinner next time." With a mischievous twinkle in his eye, Spartacus replied, "Thanks for the tip, General. Dinner's on you next time. Bring the bread to soak it up." Spartacus, noticing his troops were disheartened and hungry, promised them a grand feast to lift their spirits. He dispatched his best hunters to find a special meal. Surprisingly, they returned with a massive, grumpy pig from a nearby Roman camp. Laughing at the audacity, Spartacus declared, "Tonight, we dine on Roman morale." The feast was prepared, and the rebels dined like kings. However, as they were finishing up, a small contingent of Roman soldiers appeared at the edge of their camp, clearly in search of something. "Excuse me, kind sirs," the Roman centurion called out, looking more confused than angry. "Have you seen a large pig around here? It's the general's pet. Goes by the name of Snorticus." The rebels struggled to keep straight faces as Spartacus, with a twinkle in his eye, replied, "Snorticus has joined our cause. He's a rebel now." While preparing for battle, Spartacus noticed something strange. "Has anyone seen my left sandal? It's missing," he called out. Crixus chuckled and said, "Maybe it ran away to join the Romans." Spartacus smirked and responded, "If my sandal joined the Romans, it would still fight better than most of them." "All right, everyone, let's find my sandal. We can't have our leader hobbling into battle," he commanded. Hours passed, and just as they were about to give up, Gannicus came running. "I found it! It was stuck in a tree," he exclaimed. Bewildered, Spartacus asked, "How did my sandal get stuck in a tree?" Gannicus grinned and replied, "Well, you know how you always say to throw caution to the wind? Looks like someone took it literally with your sandal." Spartacus shook his head, smiling. "All right, let's get back to training. And remember, if anyone sees my other sandal flying around, catch it before it lands in Rome." Spartacus and his rebel advisors gathered to devise a new strategy to combat the advancing Roman legions. "We need a new tactic," Crixus urged. Spartacus, with a sly grin, revealed his plan. "We'll use decoy cows painted to look like soldiers. The Romans will waste arrows on our cow warriors." The rebels were puzzled, but amused by the unconventional strategy. "Do we arm them too?" Crixus asked. "Just helmets, and maybe a cape to make them look fierce," Spartacus replied, sparking laughter among the group. As they set about painting the cows, one of the rebels questioned, "But what if they moo?" Spartacus laughed heartily and said, "That's our moo code. When they moo, we charge. The Romans will be so bewildered they might just start milking instead of fighting." One day at the slave training camp, Spartacus was practicing with the other warriors when a new slave stepped forward with a worried look. "Oh my God, Spartacus! I heard that tomorrow we have to fight lions. What's your plan to survive that?" Spartacus replied calmly, "The trick is to make sure it doesn't make lunch out of you. Just be a tough appetizer to swallow." The new slave looked confused. "And how do I do that?" Spartacus chuckled, patting the new slave on the shoulder. "Just remember to always smile. Lions are like anyone else. They appreciate good manners. Just nod politely, smile, and maybe compliment its mane. Everyone likes a good compliment, even a lion." "Really?" the new slave asked in surprise. "Yes," Spartacus replied with a straight face. "It might not save your life, but at least you'll go out being remembered as the most polite meal that lion ever had."